They told him he didn't get promoted because he made his job look too easy. Let that sit for a second. I heard this story at a friend's birthday party a few months ago. Loud music, people laughing, drinks everywhere. And somehow, in the corner of that apartment, this guy drops the most soul-crushing sentence I've heard in a while. I worked my ass off for 4 years, and they punished me for it. And the crazy part? This story isn't rare. It's happening to people everywhere, quietly, behind office doors, under fake smiles and great job emails. I met this guy through a friend of a friend at a house party. His name was Gilbert, early 30s, quiet type, not loud, not flashy, the kind of dude who listens more than he talks. We got to talking about work. You know how it always comes up. He works in operations at a mid-sized company, nothing fancy. Back-end systems, paperwork, keeping things running so nobody else has to think about it. He told me he'd been there 4 years, never late, rarely took sick days, trained new employees, stayed late when systems crashed, covered for people when they quit without notice, basically became the guy everyone depended on, quietly. And eventually, a supervisor position opened up. Same department, same systems, the role he'd already been doing unofficially. His manager told him, apply, you'd be perfect for it. So Gilbert did. He updated his resume, asked for recommendation letters, even practiced interview questions at home like it was his first real shot at leveling up his life. Because for him, this wasn't just a title. It was better pay, less overtime, actual breathing room, with bills maybe finally starting a savings account that didn't drop back to zero every month. He said, for the first time in a while, I felt like maybe the grind was about to mean something. 2 weeks later, he gets called into the office. His manager won't look him in the eye at first. That's how Gilbert knew. They gave the promotion to someone else, a guy who'd been there just over a year, someone Gilbert trained. And when he asked why, calmly, professionally, they gave him the reason that still messes with his head. You're just too valuable where you are. Then they added, you make it look too easy. If we move you, everything here falls apart. Translation, you're too good at your job, so we're gonna trap you inside it. Gilbert said he just nodded in that meeting, thanked them, walked back to his desk, and stared at his screen for almost an hour without doing anything. Because in that moment, he realized something brutal. The better he performed, the harder it became for them to let him leave. A month later, guess who was assigned to train the new supervisor? Gilbert, the same guy who took his promotion, same tasks, same responsibilities, just now with a different title on someone else's email signature. Gilbert told me the moment that finally broke him wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic. It was one night at home. He was sitting in his car in the driveway, engine off, lights off, just sitting there. Because he couldn't bring himself to walk inside and explain to his girlfriend why their finances still weren't changing, why rent was still tight, why they still couldn't plan anything long term, why soon kept getting pushed back. He said, I felt like I was running full speed on a treadmill that wouldn't turn off. Eventually, he stopped volunteering for overtime, stopped fixing problems that weren't technically his job, started doing exactly what his job description said. Nothing more, nothing less. And that scared him, because for the first time in years, he stopped trying to prove his worth. Here's the part nobody wants to admit. Adulthood will humble you, not with one big disaster, but with small daily disappointments, promotions that never come, raises that barely change anything, promises that keep getting delayed, and nobody's coming to rescue you from that. Your boss won't, your company won't, sometimes even the people who love you can't. That's the brutal part. But here's the hopeful part. The moment you see the system clearly is the moment you stop letting it define your worth. Gilbert didn't fail because he was too efficient. He failed because he trusted that loyalty would be rewarded in a world that often rewards convenience more than character. And that's not weakness, that's being human. But adulthood eventually asks you a hard question. Are you going to keep waiting to be chosen? Or are you going to choose yourself? Sometimes choosing yourself isn't dramatic. It's updating your resume quietly, learning one new skill at night, setting one boundary at work, or simply refusing to burn yourself out for people who already showed you their limits. Progress in your 30s doesn't always look like a leap forward. Sometimes it just looks like no longer accepting what's slowly breaking you. Here's a line from a book that always stuck with me. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. In other words, hope isn't enough. You build a way out one boring, uncomfortable step at a time. And if you're still standing right now, still paying your bills, still showing up, still trying even when you're tired, that doesn't make you weak. That makes you dangerous in a quiet way. Because worn down people who refuse to quit change their lives slowly and permanently. If this story hit you, subscribe. This channel is for real working adults trying to survive burnout, money stress, and jobs that quietly drain them. If you've ever been passed over, undervalued, or made to feel stuck, comment below. Someone reading your words might feel less alone tonight. And if there's a friend in your life who's grinding non-stop and feeling invisible, send this to them. They might need to hear it more than they'll ever admit. Remember, you're not behind. You're just in the part of the story they never post online. And that's where real change usually starts. Because Gilbert's story isn't rare, it just feels rare, because nobody talks about it out loud. Most people suffer through this quietly, at their desks, in their cars, in their kitchens at night when the house finally gets quiet. Here's the reality. Studies show that over 60% of working adults have taken on significantly more responsibility at work without receiving a promotion or a meaningful raise. That means more pressure, more stress, more expectations, with the same paycheck. Only about 1 in 4 workers today say they feel genuinely satisfied with their chances of moving up in their company. So when Gilbert hears, "You're too valuable where you are," what that really means is you're profitable where you are. You're convenient where you are. You're replaceable everywhere else, but irreplaceable right here. And that messes with your head, because this isn't just about money, it's about trust. You trust that if you show up early, stay late, cover shifts, fix problems, train people, sacrifice your energy, eventually it'll lead somewhere. And when it doesn't, you don't just feel broke, you feel lied to.